Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of the Gimmick. I'm not going to keep count in the future because I know I'll forget, but it is the second inaugural or whatever that may be. And eventually I will try and get some actual music here, but we got lots to talk about today. My name is Trasnell, as usual, the Canadian Nightmare, and I'm joined by the man who is just a plethora of props behind him. I'm quite impressed because I always have that stuff and I try, but you got a good setup going on. But David, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Tired from a long night one of WrestleMania, the show, the post show, and everything else, but I'm
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I never think about I do, but I just always feel bad, especially for you on WWE or AEW, those events that are going to like midnight, 1 a.m. Where for me it's like 8 or 9 p.m. And it's like, oh, it's all good, but like that's why all pay-per-views, other than WrestleMania, because they're night one, night two, AEW have it on a Saturday, WWE have it on Saturday. Like the Sunday pay-per-views need to die. That's it. Like we all work the next day. No one wants to stay up that late and watch, especially for you guys in Eastern, who've like it's like 12, 1. You're getting up there, you know.
Yeah, Saturdays are the better option, just all around.
hmm And we're joined by the man who has a draft in the background. He's going to update us
I'm,
right
I'm
now.
looking for a new background right now.
He's looking for some sort of. Is Cody going to pop up? Who knows? But Sbubbs is here. How's it going, sir?
It's going good.
Good. Well, yeah, that's your first WrestleMania, right? Because you started watching in the
Yeah,
middle of
or
it.
watching
So
it live. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, what's gonna happen is we're gonna get right into it. Everything you need to know is down below. I'm not gonna plug away because we got a big show to talk about. The only thing I'll plug is later on tonight. If you're a podcast listener, this won't matter because just the night one, night two reviews will be in the feed come time Monday morning. But if you are watching live or listen to Sunday right after WrestleMania, we will be live. We did plan on going a few days later, but between all our schedules, it just wasn't working out. So we're like, okay, by the time we could get to Mania, it might be like a 5 week, something like not 5 weeks. That'd be obscene, but 5 days to a week's like, okay, we'll do this now. But yeah, so you're getting 2 episodes, so just look out for that. But yeah, we're talking about WrestleMania Night 1. We're going to talk about CM Punk and AEW. We're going to talk about Stand and Deliver. So there is a lot to get into. So we're just going to break it down. So S-Bubs, I will start with you. Your first WrestleMania, how was Night 1 overall? I don't know if we score this or rank it or whatever it may be. I'm not sure. Are you using, yeah, I saw your Twitter, you're using a 5-star system for matches. I don't know if we'll
Yeah.
star
For
every
for this
match,
one, I
but
don't really have ratings.
yeah.
Like just watching it like live, I'm not really thinking about like the ratings the first time I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
But I did like it overall. I see like compared to like last year's, which is like the only one I've seen. I
Right.
think I,
Yep.
I like the night one of that one better because I think that one was all like those are all like great matches, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But I still really like this one. I felt like it went by really quickly. Yeah, even compared to last year's too, because last year there were a few times where like the pace was going, and then have like the Miz segment or like, and it's
Yeah.
just like him talking for like 15 minutes. I didn't think this one had like really any like of that extra like any promos or backstage segments. I
And because
think.
you watched it recently, did they do the whole thing both nights of the people come out and wave and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
They
no,
do.
they had
Okay.
it the first night of
Okay.
everyone.
There were a couple manias where they did do that. They had everyone out. And it's like, why for both nights? Like, just pick a night. Why night one or night two? And I feel like night two's better for the Hall of Fame. It's the last night they say goodbye. But I think you're right as far as there was less like trim, like they trimmed the fat this year because the Miz, remember too, that was two segments. You had the Snoop Dogg one with Shane. R.I.P. to Shane's quad. I hope it's doing good. And then you had who did you wrestle first night again?
First time it was Mac. Well, he started the show like hosting it,
Yeah.
and then he had like went to announce the attendance,
hmm
and then it was like the McAfee fight.
Oh right, McAfee. Yeah, somehow he's had 3 matches at WrestleMania already. So they won't mention who he lost to. But so overall good show. But you'd say night one for last year is better.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. David, where are you at?
So I loved it, and I actually did do a star rating for my matches. So as we
Oh,
go through,
okay.
I'll tell you what my star ratings are because I did star them. Match one was a loaded card, man.
hmm
Just looking at it beforehand, and then even so in retrospect, like it was a loaded card. So this was a good way to start it off. I felt like last year and year before, since they started the 2 nights, it's kind of been easing into it, and then they stacked the second half of night 2. But this one was just loaded throughout. There was 2 matches that, in my opinion, underdelivered, but it underdelivered is kind of a loaded statement. You know, the bar was set high for them to underdeliver. But other than that, is just a great show.
I'm interested to see what the other one is because I know
I feel like I only had like I'm trying to think like what the second one would be. Because for me,
I will tell you what the first one is. Everybody,
but I feel like I'm trying to. I don't think I don't think I had a second one that under delivered. I think they were all at like as good or better than I thought they would be.
I think I might be there. Yeah, I think so. Because the main event, I kind of thought, like, we'll get into that. I don't think I under-delivered, but yeah, we'll get into it. But yeah, other than the Usos, which if you listen to the internet, they like fucking killed like 20,000 dogs. Like they had the worst match of the century. I'm like, my good, like, I don't know. Like this, we'll get into this is like my theme of the whole episode, especially, you know, Dave's been watching for a long time as well. It's just like, we're gonna start there. I thought night 1 was really good because I just want to get to that fan reaction. I thought night 1 was really good. I don't think it was like the last few years where night 1 was so good. Where night 2, it's like, oh man, they're kind of screwed. I think night 2 actually could be the first year that night 2 is better than night 1. It's always been the narrative, and it always does happen. But I think Drew and Seth could be great. The main event could be great. Bayley and Io could be great. The street fight thing is gonna be good. Like kind of equivalent to the ladder matches. And I think tonight's gonna have lots of surprises. So I actually think it could. But yeah, so overall, I think it was good. I think you got a Wrestlemania main event as far as like it feeling big and important. So that delivers on it. I don't think the main event always has to be the best match tonight. It's kind of like a bonus if it is. We've all talked about like, oh, what's going to be the best match? And for me, Sammy and Gunther and Rhea and Becky, I have to watch them back because I'm very torn. It's very in the middle. So I thought it was a good night. But then the rest was kind of around, like it's all passable stuff even, and that's where we'll start. We're not going in order. I guess I just want to start here because I was going to throw this question to David, so maybe he'll disagree, I don't know. But I just feel like in the years, I am now 30 years old, so I've been watching wrestling for about 20 and a half, because my grandma always jokes like, oh, you've been watching wrestling since you're 6 months old. That can't be an accurate statement, but I'm just going to go with her because it's a good gimmick to have. I just feel like, especially we'll talk about the Attitude Era a lot, living through the Attitude Era, I've seen much worse. I think this is just, if you want to put it in the one of the most disappointing matches, I could kind of get there. But even like last week, the whole thing of Jay White versus Billy Gunn, right? And I want to hate this because Billy Gunn just kind of squashed him. That to me is like much worse than what the Usos were doing here. Was it kind of a clutch that they replaced every move with a super kick? Sure, but like we even talked that was going to happen. So I think that match for me was underwhelming. I think that everyone, including myself, was hoping for a lot more emotion, and they didn't go that route. I'm not sure if it's time. I'm not sure if it's just because I don't think Jimmy is like an all-star singles. But where are you, David, on the Usos match?
So Usos match, I gave 2.5 stars.
Okay.
It was middle. Yeah. It was middle of the road. Mm-hmm. I think that they could have done better. I don't know what was hampering them from doing better. I mean, the crowd was absolutely hot for Jay, just absolutely hot for Jay from the moment he walked out. Then they had Super Kick Party Part 1. Then they went into trading blows with the Yeet versus No Yeet. Then Super Kick Party Part 2. I was like, it was good, but I felt like there could have been as much as, and I'm glad I won the Super Kick predictions. But as much as I like the Super Kick aspect of it, I would have liked just some more pure aggressive, like coming out the gate, brawling around, like the rolling around that we saw LA Knight and AJ Styles do. I would have liked that kind of brawling around at one point. Like this just descends into brother versus brother madness, where it was more of let's get the spots that people are going to cheer. And then the whole, I'm sorry, stopping them from the super kick. I was like, didn't really need that in this type of match. Again, I want you to brawl until someone just can't brawl anymore, because that's what the video package built up to. That's what the storyline has been building up to. I just needed brawl till we can't brawl anymore. And that was the disappointing part for me. The match itself is not as bad as the internet will have you believe, but oh, Sbubbs, I love that. It's not as bad as the internet will have you believe. I just felt like it could have been more, and it kind of makes me think back to Cody and Dustin's match when they wouldn't put it on Wrestlemania, and then it got relegated to a different PLE.
Chamber it was. That's what it was. Yeah. And I remember Cody had that weird ass Stardust. He at one point did a Stardust outfit without the top. Remember, it was just the pants and the gloves, and it was like the weird. It was not a good look, and the match like had very little time.
Yeah, so it reminded me of that. Like it could have been better, but just something about it. It just felt like they had to just go spot heavy instead of telling their story. And that's the part that was missing for me. I didn't expect a 5-star match out of those two. Again, Jay is phenomenal. Jimmy's been doing great. I didn't expect 5-star. I did expect better than middle of the road. And that's just because they went more spot heavy than story heavy.
Two things. One, Hunter, about your Triple H Ospreay question. We'll get to that when we kind of talk about AEW drama, so I'll put that in there. And two, screw you, David, for convincing me Jimmy was going to win. I should have went with my gut. You had such a good pitch on the prediction that I switched and everything, but the man that did go with Jey Uso, Sbubbs, how did you feel about this? Because I feel like, you're new to the game, so when you see lots of people being like, this is in the Hall of Fame for worst matches ever, it's like, I would say trust us, and like, it's definitely not. There is so, like, I'm sorry, like, I feel, not to be mean, but like, I feel like we've seen like worse from like even Maxine Dupree the past couple months. She's learning, that's great. I'm not telling her to go away. Everyone can start bad. Not everyone can be Logan Paul or Kurt Angle, but in your short time watching wrestling now, coming on a year soon, is this the worst match you've ever seen, Sbubbs? Are you gonna?
I don't think so. I think like a worst match for me would be like if it was just like completely like boring. For me, this is like it was getting like funnier each time they hit more super kicks. It was just getting so ridiculous that like this like in the WWE 2K games, the super kick isn't even like their signature finisher anymore. It's just like the end of combo move. Like if you press square X, that's a super kick. So it's just like I don't know. I mean, I did like watching it. I was like, I didn't think it was like that good, but I didn't think it was like just like awful. I was like, okay, like Jay won, and that's it. And they had like sort of a little story moment that Jimmy's still bad or whatever.
Yeah. And I was kind of weird. I'm interested, I guess. I feel like now Jimmy is going to be on Roman's side, because I thought if there was going to be a switch, they would have teased that like a little more after the match. That's one thing I will say. It felt, and maybe that was the trend that felt, it felt like the after match was a lot quicker for all the matches. I feel like at WrestleMania, they sit around for a little longer, but last night felt very like, okay, we're moving on. Like there wasn't not much time to breathe, which there's pros and cons to that, but
you got to give Rock 45 minutes.
Yeah. The match was 44, and I like because I can't remember, the entrance was 17, so altogether that was an hour of WrestleMania and stuff. But we'll get there. But yeah, so we'll obviously see them again tonight, and like I said, yeah, I don't think it's the worst. To me just thought it was fine. I think David scored. I'd probably be like around there, like a 2.5, but maybe even a 3 for like some charisma. We got what people wanted, and that was Jay standing on the top rope doing his move with the whole crowd. Like that was the reason to get him there. I think Jay can be on to like bigger things coming next year and whatnot. Happy to have him.
He had the greatest rapper of all time with him.
The greatest rapper of all time.
That was the worst entrance. The absolute worst entrance. My God,
and that was weird because he rapped for like 20 seconds, and then they just went to Jay's music, and then it's just Lil Wayne in the background, like, that's him. That he's doing a Booker T like trick.
I think maybe it was like because last year they had the Lil Uzi performance, and like if you look at like the crowd videos, by the time he's like halfway through, they're just like booing nonstop. So I think they're like, we don't want him to get booed out there, so just put him for like 20 seconds.
Like I said, that was on the Discord. Check out our Discord. We're always on some wrestler in there. That was the best entrance since WrestleMania 19 when WWE introduced Limp Bizkit as their favorite band ever. And I don't know if we haven't got a theme song since then, but we'll go back now to the very beginning where it did start with Rhea and Becky. I thought this could be match of the weekend. We'll have to see. Like I said, I'm even torn because I think Gunther and Sammy was really good as well, so I think I'm gonna have to stew on it for different reasons. But for me, what I loved about this is just different sequences. I loved the very end, how we got to the Riptide with just like multiple counters into Rhea just riptiding her on like a buckle bomb and then hitting another riptide. The fact that they pulled off that electric chair from the inside to the ring to the outside,
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen stuff like that all the time go bad, and you're like, oh, they try, like I got what they're going for, but they botched. Like it reminded me of Wrestlemania. Gosh, what was it now with Sasha and Bianca? 36, 37 now. It's been a moment.
I was
I think
2 years ago.
37.
When they did the spot where Bianca picked up Sasha and she
And walked her
walked up
up.
the steps. Yeah. And there's so many times where it's like people try that cool video game stuff and it just doesn't work because it's hard. But that's for me where the Sammy Gunther thing, I think the Sammy Gunther thing had the emotional side, but this had lots of great technique. Entrances were cool. They both looked like stars. Rhea Ripley looked like a mega star. The CGI book was maybe, it was all right. I wish there was I wish it was like the Bootio's cereal box a couple years today with
That I
nudity.
mean, I thought
You
it
know?
looked pretty realistic because at first I thought it was like the first, like the huge book
Me
on
too.
stage.
Until she walked through it and we got
Yeah.
like
I mean,
it
I
kept
thought it was cool.
yeah. But
I like
overall,
that part of it. Yeah.
this match for me delivered. Rhea's a star. I would still put Rhea and Charlotte over this one last year because I think that got a little more time because as we've heard, Charlotte apparently threw her big dick around and whatnot. But I thought this was a great match. And for me, it's contention for match of the weekend, but I have to watch. And we all went with Rhea. Rhea's the right pick and, move on.
I think
move
I
on
would
to
probably
Bianca and
put
Rhea
this
next year.
as like my match so far as like favorite because
Yeah.
like the Gunther one, like it definitely got there in the end, but at first when he's just like getting destroyed by Gunther, you're like, oh, so like this is like a squash or something, and then he starts like hulking up, and that's
Oh, that was great.
when it gets good. I actually
Yeah.
saw like a side by side that like El Generico used to like do that like when he was on the ground and like squirm around, like that was like the spirit coming back to Sammy in that moment.
Yeah, I have Gunther and Sammy and Rhea and Becky both at 4.5 stars for the match. I've been going back and forth
Yeah.
on which one is my favorite. It's probably going to take a rewatch just to figure that out. I mean, Rhea and Becky had those incredible entrances as well, and yeah, they had some incredible spots. But
Cool gear too, the both of them. I
yeah,
love the book on Becky's gear. That was really creative.
from the beginning of the reading the book to the book on her gear, then Rhea with motionless and white. I'm going to have to get used to Rhea with long hair, but other than that, like they were just all out. But man, something about that Sammy versus Gunther, the hard chops, the hard clotheslines by both of them. I mean, Gunther's chest being red, Sammy
Yeah.
hulking back up. I mean, only thing is like with Sammy's entrance, they gave him the heroic come into the ring entrance. They built him up. I'm like, this is either going to be Sammy's guaranteed winning, or this is going to be bad when he loses.
Once I saw KO, I knew it was over. I said in the Discord, like that to me, it's just like that's like because they're trying very hard, and there is aspects to make them like this generation's like Eddie and Benoit, and that is a worry. Like people have said, like to me, and even Sbubbs said in Discord, not a worry.
Yeah,
it's
so
just a
I'm
prediction,
saying,
but
like KO's gonna hit Logan with the package pile driver and Steenalizer in the corner
well,
now.
that and also just like, do they recreate the whole Sammy US champ or IC and then Kevin Owens US and they like because they love like WrestleMania 30 was kind of done to like they wanted Daniel Bryan to have the Benoit moment. Like it's the exact same moment. So
That's just
like,
people
swap
saying
it.
that's why
Yeah.
they had Triple H out there so they can just have the sound clip of them
That's
saying "Welcome to WrestleMania."
right, and that's where it's just like this can be. Oh, it's two best friends who have traveled the road together for 20 years with titles, in a big match. So now for the first time, I'm like, man, Logan Paul could maybe lose. I'm still gonna pick him, but Sammy but like I said, when we saw KO, I'm like, oh, there's no way he's gonna lose. You can't have KO fire him up and then like he takes the job,
My giveaway was when Gunther spent too much time taunting Sammy's wife Khadijah out in the crowd. I was like, oh, this isn't going to go well. I honestly thought that he was going to go for a third splash, and then he was going to end up getting rolled up, and that was going to be it.
I thought
Something
so,
like
yeah.
that. I'm
Similar to
like,
FTR Bucks 1, because that's what happened with Cash, right? He went to the top and screwed himself. So I thought they were doing that too, actually.
yeah. So, but once, and then he gets up, hits that top rope brainbuster
Oh
that
my
just looked
God.
incredible, followed by the haluva kick. I was like, "Yep, that's
He
it."
hit it on
This
like
is built.
the middle rope. If you like, he goes like past like the top turnbuckle and like bounces off. You see him bounce like he like rolled backwards to the center of the ring, pretty much off
Yeah.
the bounce on the middle rope.
Especially Gunther's like, he's a tall guy, you know, like I audibly gasp because like people have made it, you know, I don't know why they keep comparing him to El Generico. I don't know why they keep bringing that up, but still, if it was the case, we haven't seen that so long, and that's why at first I gasped because I know it's the top rope the brainbuster, but because we hadn't seen it, I was like, did this like was there a slip? Did he just botch for a second? It's like, oh man, Gunther's done. But no, I thought that was a great moment. The two haluva kicks, like they made Gunther still look like it's great because
Yeah,
not
yeah,
only
he took the like super finisher
yeah, he
and
took
then
the
like
super
two more
finisher,
finishers.
and you can also say like the reason he lost is because he got arrogant and over cocky, right? Like that's some of the best thing to do as a heel because it is he had him with a bunch of finishers, and you could argue, well, if he just paid attention to Sammy and didn't underestimate him, he would have just still won, right? He could have strike while it was hot. So I thought they protected him well. I was surprised, as I said in the predictions, I did not think Gunther was going to lose here because I guess it all depends on what they do with the world title, but I just feel like I don't know because everyone's saying like, oh, it's going to be him in that pay-per-view challenging for the title, but it's like I just don't know if you have him lose, you know. So now I'm under the impression because everyone and their mother thinks Seth's losing tonight. I think there's actually a good shot that I think Seth's retaining, and that actually he might drop it to Gunther there, and that might be the thing because I think Gunther.
So then, if Seth retains, you would have all faces as champions except
New era,
Rhea
baby. And Rhea's come on now.
yeah.
She's
Well,
not a
yeah.
face, but
I
like
guess only
she's
Waller in theory and Drew would be the only heels.
Yeah, they're holding
Because
them.
you have
Well,
Cody,
no,
Bailey.
don't forget People's Champ too. You got Rock as a heel. You got that new title added last night.
Priestess cashing in on that
on the
Monday.
People's Championship.
And he still loses. That would be the best. The Rock just fucking rock bottoms him.
He
1,
does
2, 3.
the 8-second match.
But yeah, I think that to me that's the play is Gunther winning that title there. I just because if you bring him there to lose to Cody or Seth or whoever it is, that's just like, what do you do next with him? And I know it might feel odd to be like, oh, 2 months later, or when is that event actually?
It's like August.
Oh yeah, there's tons of time. So I feel like I could still see Seth hold it till then, and that's who you drop it to. I think Cody and Gunther will happen, but I think that's like you hold off till they can like have like I've said in the Discord, like a best of 5. Like I think Gunther should beat him, and they could that's one where I actually wouldn't mind if like the title got hot potatoed. I don't know, but I was surprised Sammy won. Sorry for the Gable fans, Gable Manias. It's dead. It's over.
That'll be a good match though,
Yeah.
like Sammy Gable.
So do you guys think that Gunther is going to go for a rematch, or you think he moves on? I'm personally hoping he just moves on to other stuff and they don't have him lose a bunch to like trying to get the IC title back, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Move on.
I feel like Gunther, like the thing about him is like he's a heel, but he never like cheats, and his whole thing is like he's like all about like the ring and wrestling. So I think if like he would see this as like you beat me fairly, like it was my mistake that I didn't like look out for you.
That'd be great on Raw if you come out and you think he's just gonna fuck Sammy up, but he just like shakes his hand or gives that praise and leaves. Like that'd be great, especially too because
apparently Raw is in Montreal in like 2 weeks or something.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, that's gonna be a hot crowd. That'll be good. So, and especially too because Triple H confirmed on Logan Paul's show that the draft is in like a month, which
I could see Gunther. I saw people saying Gunther like King of the Ring. Or maybe you get Gunther like against Sammy somewhere in there. I don't know because it's a tournament.
I'm fine with it. Just don't fucking make Gunther wear a cape and a crown. You know,
British
like,
Gunther.
You can still like the first night, sure, but like you can win King of the like. Edge wasn't King of the Ring. He wasn't King Edge for like a whole fucking year. Same Kurt Angle. Like he won it. He wore it for a couple shows after. Then it was just King of Ring winner. Like I don't need King Corbin. I don't need stuff. Like there's certain characters like when Xavier Woods won it, that's perfect. Someone like I actually think for some reason like Carmelo Hayes, like if he would ever win it, you could rock like the King Mello. Yeah. But there's other people.
I feel
like
King Mello, that one works. Like that's a cool.
But I don't need King Gunther. Don't
I feel
king
like
him.
if I don't get my Chelsea Green Money in the Bank, I could see like Queen.
Oh, Chelsea Green as Queen of the Ring would just be absolute class. I would be here for that.
That's the worst pause you could have hit me with there. Come on, producers. Yeah, but yeah, no, like because we're talking about them both. I'm the same as David. I need to rewatch them. Maybe there'll be something tonight that'll be the best match, and then I don't have to have that struggle. But for me, it was that story. It was that hulking up. It was the stuff with the wife. I agree with that. I suppose at the beginning there's like a little bit more of like okay, it was very one-sided, but I guess it did build up to the end. But no, I thought they did a great job, and both matches didn't deliver, like or didn't under deliver. They, we both thought they had good potential, and they both did really well. So I'm very excited to see where we go from both sides. I don't know if Becky. I know lots of people are like, "Oh, this could be her last thing" because she has 2 months left on her contract, and she was looking pretty emotional last night. I think there could be more there, though. That's one where I could see you could do multiple matches. Where with Gunther and Sammy, I don't want them to go that route, but yeah, they both fantastic stuff. I'm glad they were both great. Let's see. After Rhea and Becky, we got. I don't think I have the actual
ladders.
Was it a
six-pack ladder match?
Yeah.
And this is my second disappointment.
Really? Okay, you start.
Yes.
Yeah. Why you were disappointed by this one?
This is why I'm disappointed with this one. Three main reasons. One, the short entrances. You had all these people who had 30 seconds. Yeah. And like for DIY to have the DX entrance and New Day to have their entrance, for it to be just so short and so rushed, I was just like, man, this is kind of you're taking some of the sale out of the importance of this match. I mean, Awesome Truth hadn't even gotten to the second part of their rap when they're like, and moving on. New Catch Republic didn't even get a full entrance because half of theirs was Awesome Truth steal. And then they kept I like the overhead shot, especially in ladder matches, but they kept doing it during rest periods. So you could see people were just obviously lying around in wait for their next spot. And I was like, it was just.
That's the one where I noticed in the corner, the Grayson Waller was on the floor, and he was just crawling over to the Prime cart, and he just grabbed a Prime and started drinking it on the floor.
So, and then my third part with that was with A-Town Down Under, and I felt like they could have done more to try and be unified champions. Like we all knew that they were going to split the belts, but I think other than after they got the belt, then going, all right, let's get the other. After that, they pretty much were not in the match.
I feel like they destroyed because one of who got put didn't Theory get put through tables and then Waller got put through ladders.
Yeah. Waller got one of the, which is like after WrestleMania 23, the very first time ever, it was Jeff Hardy jumping off a ladder on the Edge, and that's when we saw it break. Ever since then, they've just spammed that to last night. All the moves are hard, right? They're all dangerous, but I feel like Catch Republic, they power bombed Waller, but it was with so less ferocity. It's this ladder would not break. I know it's the way it's kind of made and bent that way, but it didn't feel to me like, oh, he's taken out, but he was. I did like the image of him holding the title. So I guess we're not going to be getting babyface Theory as people, they're going to break up, I guess, and we'll get there. I was surprised by that. I thought this match was what it needed to be. I thought always there was too many people because some of those Money in the Banks early WrestleMania, WrestleMania 21, that is legitimately one of the greatest ladder matches of all time. And that's where it's with 6 guys, even 7, you can plan some cohesion, where this is just kind of get your shit in. So I was fine with it. It was a fun time. I think there was a lot of good spots.
Yeah.
That JD spot scared me. The fact that he took that table bump by the guardrail, a few inches, and you are done. Because you always take that bump on the ramp side, the table bump. So that was very impressive. Very I was scared for him.
I think
that moment
he took it legs towards the barricade.
Still, if he
oh my! And then DIY and New Catch Republic with their back-to-back
I saw the
tornado DDT to the outside.
The tornado DDT. If you look back at it, people zoomed it out. Gargano takes all of it,
Oh yeah.
Like he protected Dunn, but his back just like hits the floor like Gargano.
The air raid, that's the second craziest air raid crash I've seen. Now, the first craziest back in their NXT days during the War Games match when he does it off of the steel cage, but this is
Yeah.
probably still, this was, I'm just like, ooh. And my girlfriend, who never watches wrestling, was sitting in the room with me when that happened. She just looked and she saw it. She goes, his back. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from Gargano and Dunn because that's been the bump that people have been talking about. But for me, it was Bate and Ciampa being up there because like there's no way for Bate to like he's just gonna land. And
Yeah,
like,
you just have to take that.
Yeah, and he like bounced. We're like even Gargano, he can protect him. You're going through, and it's like look at the height from the apron to the floor versus the ring. Like it's just, I was surprised they let them do that because even the War Games that was higher, but technically at least there was tables to kind of cushion that fall. This was just directly on the mat. So kudos to them. They took, Gargano said like, oh, wait till we see what we do at WrestleMania. And like I said, I think this was like a fun spot for the crowd. It's a car crash. It's a good time. I was happy with Truth winning because, I don't have a problem with him winning. I know people didn't want him to be tag champs. I don't think it'll be a long run. It'll be like a month or two. They got their Mania moment. Cool. I was shocked by A-Town down because to me, this does show that I think maybe they'll get there with the theory turn, but I'm still going with, I'm going to be, I'm going to rock my Travis theory is that I don't think Austin Theory is the guy. I think they've realized that he's not that guy yet. So he's just tag team person now, which is fine because maybe you can get hot. Like a couple years ago, Cesaro at WrestleMania Theory, that's how he got hot. Where it's like we the people, or whatever I can't remember what the hell they called that, him and Swagger. It had like some official name, but maybe the tag team will get Theory hot, but that's where I think they know, okay, maybe as a singles guy, this is not where it is. I think him and Waller, they'll have good matches, they'll be entertaining, but I was surprised. I thought Triple H's kids and DIY would actually get it there. So I was kudos to them. And the second we saw the titles, we knew it was being split. They couldn't be further apart. And Judgment Day, maybe with the worst WrestleMania gear of all time. I thought it looked goofy. It was silly. I think I'm very
Purple Cane.
Purple Cane. I'm very curious what they do with Damian because I do think Judgment Day is at a point other than Rhea where they gotta heat him up a little bit. Now I do worry to the point it's almost like Damian has to win, and that could be like what gets them there. Because if he loses, that faction is like maybe it's time to SummerSlam, call it quits and end it. Have them turn on Rhea, give us Rhea versus Dom, have her beat the shit out of him.
We're getting Dom, JD, Finn, Davian, Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam.
That, or it could be like Dom and Damian versus JD and Finn, because JD and Finn are like, they've been together for years. So I think you could do some Fatal 4-Way tag team. Like if Damian doesn't win or they don't have a big angle, I think it might be time to, especially Rhea too. I feel like she's like outgrown them so much now. Like I feel like she's just, not that they're holding her back, but they could if they become like close to the job squad. Like we'll see. It's all about the fall.
I mean, they already have like the B team of the Judgment Day,
right? Like that's what I mean. Like they're because that's what I think could be, or at least even them turning on Rhea. That could be what gets them hot and just makes them, man, we hate the Judgment Day because they can't like. I don't think they're gonna beat her up. Like I don't think they'll go that route. But I don't know if they replace her. I think Dom can hit her.
They
once.
do the Edge segment again, but they're putting Liv in the Judgment Day and kicking Rhea out.
That honestly, man, that is not a bad idea. I would not be like, they could like what Judgment Day is. They could like handcuff Rhea and then Liv beats the shit. Like I think Dom can hit Rhea once because Rhea's gonna beat the shit out of Dom. Like I cannot wait for that day where Dom has to take the Riptide. Like it's gonna be, that pop is gonna be huge. So the Liv Morgan thing, that actually is not a bad idea. That could heat him up again a bit.
I've got an idea. Instead of Liv, I love Liv. I don't know if she could lead in that way. Mm-hmm. There's been speculation on a returning Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa Bliss could more be the maniacal bad girl full time.
What if it was a twofer? Over. What if you did them both? So you give Rhea some people to work with, Alexa and Liv together, kind of doing the like dark girl, nightmare, mysterious people. Like they kick Because I feel like, I don't know, because then we have what? That's a faction. Well, I guess you're only adding one more. If Rhea's gone, another one. Like, I think there needs to be something big. And I think they are doing something because they keep talking about how they're bickering, arguing, right? They're not getting along. And I think Dom easily can just go with, like, whatever the super Latino heel faction is.
Yeah.
I would love Finn to go back to, like, babyface, like, in the, like, I think he needs a new coat of paint. I don't know what you're gonna do with Damien other than like Damien. I think is tough. I think I don't know. Maybe Bad Bunny comes back. You give them a run as the team champs. I don't know.
I think Damien's next opponent is going to be the referee who tried to tell him not to climb that ladder.
I was so like luckily good on the ref, right? Because doesn't want him to get hurt. But it took me on the match where she's just pulling his leg, like don't climb that fucking ladder. It's like, geez, like this is like, but it all worked out and everything. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that gear was just not good. It was like, especially Finn's. It just looks like some sack with like.
It's like scarecrow.
Yeah. You're right. Like Graves said, it was Riddler, but it looked more like Cillian Murphy's scarecrow. Like to me,
I like the hair
like
for Damien though. Like when they're like crowd shots of like everyone fighting, you would just see his hair like flying around.
Oh yeah, his hair is outrageous. So yeah. So what do you guys? Where are you? Because I see Pickens. Priest's gonna cash in and fail night. Where are you guys on cash and watch tonight? Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna fail? Is he gonna try? Do you think it's tomorrow on Raw? Okay.
I think it's tomorrow on Raw. I don't see him cashing in tonight. With the thought process of this
being, they keep talking about it.
If he does, if he tries to cash in, I don't think it will be a successful cash in. I think something will stop it. I could even see CM Punk stopping him from cashing in, because I don't think that's
who wants to see Damien CM Punk as like
there's just too many there's too many cogs in the wheel right now with this trifecta of Drew, Seth, and CM Punk. Now you're going to add Damien in there and take that title away. Like, this whole thing about the title and Drew having his moment, Seth being the workhorse champion, CM Punk getting his moment, all of that is just too large of a scale to then throw in Damien, who hasn't really been that strong lately.
What I want now, I want Seth to be not one. I don't really care because I like Drew. I like Seth. I'm kind of, if Drew wins, great. Drew deserves that moment. I think there's a route of both ways of Seth or Drew winning, and it being the opposite of your scenario, Dave, where Punk GTS is the person, and then Damien gets the cover. And I would almost like it in a way where, not because they fight, like because I guess I don't know what Punk's arm is like, but I would like it in a way where Damien's coming down and Punk actively helps Damien get the win just to fuck over that other person. Like, imagine the heat if Seth goes through what he did last night, beats Drew, Damien's music hit, and Punk just like low blows Rollins. Like, I don't think they want Punk to be a heel, so that's why I think he could do it to Drew. And then imagine if Drew wins and Punk's like screws him and helps Damien cash. Like, I think there is a chance that whoever it is, and I think that's why
you have like Punk like start like walk off the desk, start talking to the referee or something, and then like Damien low blows Drew, and then Punk tells the referee's doing something else, and like right after Damien low blows, he's like, look, you need to start counting now.
I think that because I did think about, because Seth will be in the main event, right? And I think he's winning. I just feel like they're going really hard last night.
I feel like maybe Seth's not, like, maybe it's like Drew destroys his knee and he's like, well, Seth's now not going to be in the, like, who else is Cody going to have as backup? Like, Seth's not going to be able to be here. Like, there's no one else who can help Cody or something like that, they're going to say.
And that's what's very fun with it being the first match tonight. There's tons of scenarios. Like, there's like 6 different ways this match can go. Jamie could even cash and make a triple threat, right? He could pull Seth Rollins on Seth Rollins, which I actually think would be really fun. I think that would be a fun, and especially if Seth were to lose that way, that'd be a really full circle moment of last night. Like years ago, he cashed in Roman. Last night, he main evented a WrestleMania of Roman, and now 9 years later, he's getting the same thing done to him. Like, I think there's so much you can do here, and luckily with it, Triple H and everybody in the crew, I trust them. If it was VCam, we would have been fucked because Damien would have squashed them both, maybe. And I don't know, like,
I saw someone saying that LA Knight, if he swallowed that gum with bits, he would have been squashed by Tozawa on Monday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you don't chew gum, kid. Come on. Like, or that would have been his gimmick. You'd be like, oh, I want you to choke on gum all the time. So, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think we all thought Truth and Miz were either 1 or 2. And like I said, they'll have a little run. That'll be nice. Don't know who they'll lose it to. I hope it's not a case where they just have it and on Raw just lose to the Judgment Day in a rematch. I really don't want them to do that. I'm fine with Miz and Truth holding it for a small amount, but I don't need it going right back to Judgment Day. And I could easily see them doing that if we just want Truth to get the moment. So I hope not. If it's somebody, have it somebody else. Have an NXT team, have a different team turn heel, whatever it may. Wait till the draft and put over team. Like, have new catch, because I think Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, I think they might be better flipped as well as a heel. I think they can only go so far. Like, Pete Dunne is a natural born heel.
Yeah,
he needs
Pete
to get
Dunne
back.
If you want like new tag team designs like for the belts, could you get like Braun Breaker, Baron Corbin beat like, let's say, like Awesome Truth,
You
make
could.
make those two, like make the NXT and Raw a belt, and then turn the SmackDown ones into like how they made like the Raw and SmackDown women's championships, like the
Yeah.
women's championship and the women's world championship, like could they turn those two into like new belts?
Anything to get rid of those fucking ugly helmet belts. Like,
I feel
you
like they're
had
gonna
those
try
so
and change
long.
like all of them now, like with this new era
Maybe,
thing,
but
or
like,
like at least the ones that haven't been like recently changed.
yes, yeah, I think the tag has to go. The tag was, to me, I never liked the design. I think they looked terrible with the blue and red. So we need
I
like
kind
a
of like that.
new one.
Looking back at just like on 2K, you can see all the belts. I kind of like the bronze ones. I don't know. I thought those were like it's pretty much these same ones, but like all bronze.
Yeah,
I thought those looked like kind of cool.
I just need something. I need something changed up. So, anything else on the ladder match? Any notes? Nope. Next, well, we're at ours. I'm just gonna go. Well, we had the
Ray Andrade.
yeah, versus Santos and Dom. I thought this was fun. They got their Kelsey pop. I thought like the ending was like a little. I wish it was just he was in the crowd and Santos pushed him and he got in. It was just weird for them to evade the match with with Lucha Mask, no DQs. Like, I wish they did. Like, it's an easy spot. Have Dom push Jason Kelsey, and then he's like, F this, he's gonna get in, and they kick his ass. Like, it just felt like a little underwhelming. I thought the match was fine. Andrade's so smooth though. There's multiple spots in here. I thought that double cross body is really cool.
Oh yeah.
This to me would be like a 2.5 out of 5. This was like, it was fine, got a moment. The gear was the coolest part. And I still think
I was trying to figure out what
match, so.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what Ray's gear, but I think it was just like
it was
like
an
Eagles, yeah. But I don't know. I thought maybe
someone was gonna shoot out of his back.
Yeah,
like,
because he had like a jetpack, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to think like, is this like a comic? Because he oftentimes has the
I like the
comic
gear,
character
but
gear.
the entrances were just mid for me. Like, the gear itself was fine, but the entrances were just
Especially
Rey
after Dom's
Mysterio
last year,
on
too, you know.
WrestleMania. I want something to be there. Dom just walked out. Now, again, great heat for Dom. The entire arena is just exploding with boos for Dom. Like, you can tell, as a bad guy, he is that dude. But the entrances themselves, it was just like, okay, we're here. And then, Kelsey coming in, doing his thing. Now, I like Jason Kelsey. I'm a huge fan of American football, and I am from Kansas City, so I'm a huge Chiefs fan. Hence that Rey Mysterio mask back there has a Chiefs emblem right in the forehead. And so I knew Kelsey was a huge wrestling fan as well, and both the brothers are, so I kind of got that, but it just, it seemed like an out of nowhere, like, I get it, during their the Chiefs Super Bowl celebration, Jason was at their celebration and he wore a Rey Mysterio mask.
Yeah.
So that's the tie-in. But I think it's too much of a niche tie-in and you're pandering to the Philly audience. Just maybe have a smaller spot with them. And with all those great people in there, though, the spot of the match actually belongs to Joaquin with the springboard rather than anything that happened in the match. What, you have such great competitors, but man, Joaquin got some air on that springboard, and I'm pretty sure Selena destroyed her forehead on her spot.
I was worried with that moonsault because she definitely landed face first and then knees and body after. I was like, oh, luckily she got up and was all good. But I was worried of, man, that's a bad spot. And the wild spot was good. I just hate when people are like, I'm gonna make my WrestleMania moment, like just do
I
it.
think
Don't.
this is like they did it like when they did it on NXT the first time, it was just like a strategy thing. Like it was like the guys were like all far away, and then he just
Mhm.
like they're already on the ropes, and he just like he gets on there, and then the other two just like they didn't even say anything. And
Yeah.
then after
Yeah.
that, like it was like the next SmackDown. It was like I'm pretty sure they were just like you have to do this spot every time.
It's a
now.
gimmick now. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all what they have to. And like I said, I don't mind doing it. I just hate that's like this era thing. It's the same thing of like they're better now, but the announcers always used to be like Stone Cold enter the arena. They're like a WrestleMania moment. That's a WrestleMania. It's like don't tell me. Like I'll pick it up if it's a real WrestleMania moment. It'll happen. I agree. I love the spot, but just like I hate like this. Let's make a moment. It's just like no. Shouldn't you want to like help your boy win the match? Not worry about the moment, but it's like it's fun. I just like a small critique, but yeah,
Yeah, the fact that they hyped it up, like you could tell they were looking at each other like we're going to have a moment.
Yeah.
That kind of takes you out of it. The move itself is super impressive. The height that he got is super impressive.
He went out of the screen. They couldn't even follow him. He went out of the camera, you know?
But yeah, I agree with you on the fact that everyone's looking for their moment. Let the moment be natural. Like we were saying earlier with Bianca Belair and walking Sasha Banks up, like that was a natural moment. That was a moment when you saw it, you were like, I am going to remember this. Like, let those moments just be those moments and let us decide who has the WrestleMania moment.
What do you guys think about? Because I've seen right because I'm looking at the timeline. And I forgot this. We forgot to mention this. What do you guys think about the new intro for WWE and the new era? You got
The Triple
I
H
actually
era.
really like the
era.
one. I like the one they've had like for a while with like where it's like the then now forever one
Together.
I like that one, but this one was cool. It felt very like MCU.
Absolutely.
It gave the
Marvel
whole
intro.
universe feel, so that they are
Yeah.
really doing the whole we are a universe in and of ourselves. And I think what's cool using the stars to make the wrestlers and things like that, you will notice some people who have been taken out of the previous then now and forever.
No, Brock's just at home if you have Triple H. Most bullshit
And
answer ever.
CM Punk getting added to it, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, this is pretty good.
That press conference, man. Oh yeah, we're talking to Rumble, and yeah, he's just
Brock's
doing
just
his own
at
thing.
home doing Brock things.
And like it's up to the reporters. I get it because it's this tough thing of like they're reporters, but they also like they're fans and stuff. But like then like okay, why was he taken out of the game then? Like there's a why was this stuff taken off the shelf? There's like a litany of evidence of them trying to remove Brock, and now it's like, oh no, he's just chilling. He just didn't want to do Mania. It's like, all right, like so clearly they want to bring him back at some point. That's what I read from that last night. They're just waiting for it to blow over because if he would have, like, he could have killed that right there, but he's like, no, Brock's just doing his own thing. And they did mention the whole thing, but I guarantee, unfortunately, well, we'll see what happens with the trial. If there's things that are, proven that he wasn't too much involved, then sure. But I think you'll get him back in the next 5 years, which I'm a guy where it's like, yeah, I don't need Brock Lesnar anymore. You have Gunther to me, who's like, I get Brock, I get the box office appeal, I get what he brings, absolutely, but I'm just like, we have other, like Braun Breaker, we have other people now that can come up and be the huge mega heel that can just destroy you, without bad text history as well,
Yeah,
very
and
easy.
If you've got The Rock doing this final boss gimmick, you don't need the person who has been the final boss for the last 10, 15 years coming in at the same time. It then stacks it up too much. But yeah. I like the new intro. I like everyone is just giving Triple H his props, and this is his era and things like that. So I'm cool with it.
I don't think his voice needed to be on it. I said that to Emily last night where she did point out that maybe this is like a TKO. They want like Triple H to be the face, but it feels like when you get the opening of Triple H's voice and then he's the first in WrestleMania, it did feel very like it really is the Triple H.
I think
era.
the then now for everyone was like Cena's voice. I think.
No, it's him.
The previous one. I mean.
Oh right, yeah,
yeah,
and that's where it's like. I'm not saying to his credit, but like Vince never had his voice on there, right? So that's where it's like it's weird to have Triple H like almost feel
and the outro too.
Yeah,
I would definitely have hired a movie guy or somebody for that instead.
Forget Taker. I feel like Taker is like the easy go-to after the Bray doc. It's like he's like the legend. Like I feel like Taker, that's the right role, but good thing it wasn't Rock, because that would have been even funnier if it would have been. They should have done a special one actually for tonight. They should have one where the Rock says "Then Now Together Forever" or whatever it is. But we got the last two matches here. We had the kind of women's three-way showcase, much like the ladder match. To me, this is where WrestleMania is like you have your wrestling and your entertainment, but this was the pure entertainment. We're just going to give you some moments, and I thought they delivered. Jade looked like a star, looked very nervous. That entrance ramp, man, she was seeing that crowd. I was worried for her because like she was like it's just so good. Like Bianca and Naomi are popping off, they're dancing, and Jade is just like stone faced, like fuck. And but you know what happened when she got the tag? She delivered and she brought it, but I was worried. I was like, fuck, she could stumble and everyone's going to be like, oh, AEW trash. Look how they train their wrestlers and whatnot. But she delivered. They got cool looks, the entrances, everything. Damage control looked great. You know, obviously the internet's blown up about Dakota Kai. So I'm just happy they got their moments. Their entrance too was fire with the fans and then everything. So I thought this was like exactly what it needed to be. Like these are matches for me, it's tough to rate because like this could never be like a 5-star match, right? But for me, it's for sure like a pass because they did their job. They showcased Jade. The women look good.
Bianca's
streak
just
is
waiting
intact.
for the hot tag the whole time, and then you know what, when it hits, that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah, I gave this a 3.5 star. Like I said, it was a good match. Jade looked like from her presentation coming out and everything else, she looked like a star. Yes, she had that moment where she was like, oh, this isn't 10 to 15,000 people that I'm used to. This is a big deal. And so she went from that, and then they left her on the sideline until that hot tag from Bianca, and they made her come in as a big deal. And the way that all the women on that team worked together and really like elevated each other, plus the give and go from Damage Control, like they really helped sell.
They put them with the perfect people to sell or be able to throw around,
especially Dakota. Like Dakota is a bumping machine, you know. So yeah, and then I'm interested to see where they go with them after, because I think EO will lose tonight, so I'm interested to see what they do with that whole dynamic at the draft. But and then finally, we got the main event for WrestleMania. Like I said, there's other stuff, of course, we're going to talk about, but for WrestleMania, we had the Bloodline, Tribal Chief, Final Boss versus American Nightmare. Seth freaking Rollins with an outfit that, like, kudos to him, but the shoulder piece was so big, it was like you couldn't see him sometimes. But entrances, top tier, A class. The Rock's entrance was like, that was something out of a Marvel movie. Like that was just fantastic. I love that has the People's Champion title. I love that he's not won anything, but he's like a champion. Like the shot like Sbubbs have, the fact that he's holding up a title that he didn't win from anybody. It was just given to him.
He bought at the WWE shop.
And it's like equivalent to Roman. Like and that fits with the Final Boss. Like that's perfect. I thought this match was great. I thought it was big time WrestleMania feel. I thought it was a great roller coaster. As I've said in the Discord, I think they could have shortened this by 5 to 10. This match was 44 minutes. A lot of it was aura standoffs, but for me, the crowd and getting working over Seth's knee for 5+ minutes, I didn't need that. Have The Rock hit Seth's knee with a chair, that's it. I think this was a really good match. For fun factor, it's like a 10 out of 10. The last act is fantastic, but I think this could have been, you take out that 10 minutes, I think this could have been like a all-time great main event, where I think there was some sluggishness. And like I said, the crowd, when they went into the crowd,
because they
lost them. Yeah, they split them.
You had Cody and Roman all the way on the stage, and then it was
weird because it wasn't like, okay, the crowd's tired, they're out of this, let's go to the crowd and fire them back up. They were still doing okay, you're getting Seth and Rollins, or you're getting Seth and Rock, you're getting Seth and Roman, you're getting Cody, you're getting the pairings, and that was fun. So I feel like they actually did not need to go the crowd at all. So for me, it was a really good main event, but I think shorting in it and changing a few things in the middle, they could have had an all-timer. But like I said, the last 10 minutes, that's all 5-star, 10-10, just
I feel like once they hit the double pedigree near fall, that got everybody up. Yeah,
that was such a great sequence. The double count, the ending, like I said, the third act of this match, they brought it home big time. So
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that match to me, I have it at 4.25 stars. Mm-hmm. It was good to see them starting out with Seth and Roman and just getting
Yeah, very
that
full
little
circle,
history
yeah.
out the way. They started off with some full chain wrestling. I was surprised that The Rock did some full chain wrestling to start off the match. Even like doing some good selling for Seth, and then everything it spilled to the outside pretty quickly. I mean, the whole if you count, you're fucking fired.
Oh, so good.
I just
You know I'm The Rock. I'm not
so,
fucking around.
just so good. Don't fuck with me.
That can be a soundbite.
Oh yeah.
Seth's leg work. Oh man, he was really selling that.
I saw someone saying that at one point he like sold the wrong leg or something. I didn't notice. But...
You're them both. You know.
The sloppy Cody Cutters all match kind of got to me, with The Rock being the person who sold it the best. When
The Rock
got
one made
his.
up for it though. I
That
know
was
everyone
the
was like, "Why'd he
perfect one,
jump?"
though.
But like it
Yeah.
looked so damn
I mean,
good.
just on Monday, Cody jumped for like the spear, and people were like, "That's Roman's greatest spear ever."
Yeah.
The Rock and Mama Rhodes getting into it, leading into the Dusty tribute. I think it was smart of them to go right from the Mama Rhodes thing to him doing the bionic elbow right there.
Rock was whipping himself too with the belt again. We got some
Mama
chills.
Rock was there too in the.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Mama Rock versus Mama Rhodes. We got to get that in the middle of the ring.
Roman spearing The Rock, that was The Rock's best
yeah.
acting I've seen in any of his past 5 movies. Like
So
him
fun.
selling that spear. It took me back to him versus Stone Cold and the way that he would sell some of those moves. Like he was going through it. The Rock bottom through the table. I was surprised that The Rock took that, but I was like, that was an amazing thing. The spear through the barricade was, oh, gee, the sound of that breaking and just taking Seth Rollins out of the match. The one thing that was kind of disappointing was we only got one whip of the belt. Not advocating whipping people with belts here, but
I feel like they're saving that. Yeah, they're saving that tonight.
It was a selling point, and you got one kind of whip from the belt, and then Rock getting the pin on Cody after demanding the tag in from Reigns. I was like,
oh, that was good.
Yeah, that's future setup right there. Cody getting pinned clean, having the disheveled look at the end again.
Yeah.
It's a great setup tonight too.
I also liked. I didn't even notice until commentary said when the Rock low blowed Seth, like the referee went over to Cody to say sorry that there's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
What were you, Sbubbs?
No, yeah, I really loved it. Like I thought it was at first it was like kind of going slow, but it definitely got there in the end. And like yeah, Rock just he went the whole time like it worked out well for people who are like in at the start that everyone is saying like, oh, he's gassed after one spine buster and like he won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, and
but
I think a tag match
did train a lot from that like gender moment.
I think they picked the right spots and everything. Yeah, he was looking good. They were all looking. Roman put in a lot of work. He was looking really good, and yeah, I think and again too, good thing with a tag match is like he gets his moments like to sit on the apron for a bit, right? Like the test will be whenever he does the singles, and I'm very curious. Again, I was somebody that was in the Rock double agent camp, but I feel like you go the other route and you have Monday Night Raw. To me, I would love it to end of Rock and the Bloodline just beating the shit out of Roman Reigns and just like he failed, or they might stretch it and like Roman has to win the belt, and if he doesn't, then The Rock will come back because The Rock is going away to go film that A24 movie. So maybe it's something they pick up on. They don't want to do right away, but I just think The Rock is so good, and as I said, I think he has unfortunately kind of eclipsed Roman with the heelness. I think you lean into that because I think now if you do The Rock
on Monday of the Bloodline beating up Roman, and then Cody runs in for the save on Roman.
Ultimate good guy Cody. Oh my god, yeah. That I think you will get that one day. I think after Raw though, they let him like, we're gonna let him get beat up once. He deserves this, and then after maybe he'll, say sorry to Jay and stuff. But no, I'm very curious. But yeah, I think Rock again. That's the best thing too with him being this heel character is some of the best stuff is just his emotions or what he's saying, right? It don't have to be what he does in the ring, so that's good. Yeah, I can't wait for tonight. Yeah, it's Bloodline rules. They won, like we said. Cody took the pin. I just don't understand. For weeks still, even last night. So Seth, it's like I don't know why anyone thought Seth was taken the pin here. Like, this makes so much sense for the story for Cody. It's like we said, it's fucking Bret Hart 101. This thing happened 30 years ago. The playbook of Bret loses the first match, he wins the second. Like, that happens to Money in the Bank people all the time. Like, I was so surprised. Maybe half of it is probably just people memeing on Seth too, because it's just like, that's the easy joke to do. But I thought this was the right move. It, like, I was 50-50 on the Cody dejected look. I felt it just was so unnatural for me of like the setup. This one last year felt like a camera guy got a good shot, where this felt like Cody moved into place to get said shot.
They wanted to get it.
Yeah, and like for me, it's just like it lost some of the like specialness. Like, okay, I get. And again, you can see the difference of Cody knowing, oh, I'm gonna win tomorrow versus, fuck, should I have left AEW? like the clear thoughts that are going through his mind. So again, I think he's winning. I think this match is gonna be, it's gonna be tons of fun. You know.
Yeah, I saw there's a beach ball, so people are hoping the rubber chicken's raining down after Cody wins the title.
Oh, I hope so. They should have a plant, and someone should throw the rubber chicken, and Cody should beat the shit out of Roman with the chicken. Like, he should hit him a couple times with a chicken, you know, just to go full circle. But no, I think tonight's gonna be lots of fun. I can't wait to see that main event, and that's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be.
I feel like that could be like Cody would do like an hour main event back to back. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think even Meltzer said it's listed with 40 minutes. So I think it's going to be another hour with entrances. If Cody wins, you know, the pyro is going to be 5 minutes alone. Because I felt like last night his pyro was like small. So I felt like they're saving it for that moment. Because like,
all that money on The Rock.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Good thing they didn't kill him too. That fucking Fire Brahma Bowl. I was waiting, but that was, and the stage. We didn't talk about that. Stage looked excellent with the. I love how big the X and the L are.
And they did have the custom stuff on the X's and L's. Yeah.
So kudos to those poor people that for the past 2 weeks have just been working their ass off, being like, we got to make a custom Tron for the X and the L. Okay, here we go.
We still don't know what that MY supposedly thing is from the sound check.
Yeah,
someone said they're at the Wrestlemania sound check, and like on the banners there was like an MY like Titantron video. But it was like the logo is like an M with like the Y in the middle, and people said it could just be like a generic sound check thing that just people I don't know. It was just like a weird thing.
It could be. Maybe this can be Jack Perry's new name. You know, we'll get there in a second. But anything on Wrestlemania Night 1 specifically before we move on?
I think that's it.
Yeah. That was a good night. Like I said, I think night 2 has potential to be better, so we'll see. There's lots of fun stuff. So yeah, we'll be back later tonight to talk about that. But
yeah, there's the Bobby Lashley carrying Cross street fight. I don't think we mentioned that.
Can't wait.
I don't remember.
Can't wait. It's gonna be.
I feel like if it's just like all weapons, I mean, it could be like fun. I guess.
I actually think it will be fun. I think Montez Ford will be crazy.
Plus, if it's like it's supposedly the 3 of them, but if it's like street fights, you'll have like B-Fab and Scarlett fighting too.
Yeah. No, I actually think it will be fun. I think that is a match that if I have to go somewhere, I will. That was like the Ray and Dom match. That was my okay. I'm gonna grab some food and come back down for the first 5 minutes after the entrances. But yeah, I think it will still be fun. So what else is gonna be fun is, man, you know, CM Punk, just the gift that keeps on giving. Because we thought he did an interview on Monday. I thought, well, we gotta at least talk about this on the episode alone for Wrestlemania. And after this, yeah, we're gonna talk about NXT. And then that happens. And then you also get Edge cutting a promo on Wednesday. As I've said before, and Travis told you, I don't care. I'm always going to call him Edge. I'm sorry. That's just his name to me. And we think, oh, this must be it, right? This must be all of it. And everyone, this is what happens. You know, this is the world we go in. Everyone kept, and I agree to an extent, but everyone kept memeing on AEW like, oh man, you got a collision on Saturday. Worst thing. Yeah, da, 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 da. And I agree that you should just done a best of. But all those memes brought us here because they go, you know what? We're gonna have this fucking graphic. It's gonna pop up, and apparently on Wednesday, the Bucks, aka AEW, are going to be showing footage of All In of the fight with Jack Perry and CM Punk. Now, I know lots of people already have been like, "Oh, it's a troll." I don't think so because all the top tier scoopers have said like this is legit. It's happening. I think some of them have already seen a screenshot or some images because I was watching Fightful last night, just the way Sean paused. I was like, yeah, I they've seen enough, and everyone's saying that it looks like it's not a bluff. I really What a crazy, and it's not over because we got till Wednesday, and if it's big enough, there might have to be an emergency gimmick episode. We said we do once a month. There might have to be a bonus one again, a third bonus, because this is. I thought we would see this footage, but I thought it would be a Deadpool teaser trailer. It would leak and somehow be on the interwebs, and that's what would happen. I always thought we would see this after this interview, because here's the two differences, and now I'm going to throw to David for AEW, and then I'm going to ask Sbubbs' thought on a new. Do you feel like you're just like someone that's a kid that, you know, like you're coming into a marriage and now like the ex is back and all this drama is happening? But I thought that you look at the differences where on Monday, CM Punk gives the interview, Tony Khan's a clown, not a good boss, da, 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 da. Wednesday, Cody's the exact opposite. No, that's not my experience. You know, I like Tony. And that's where there is a universe, whether people like it or not. If CM Punk just says, oh, I don't want to talk about it, or like, yeah, I like Tony Khan, that's it, this probably doesn't happen. But good old CM Punk, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I'm in the camp, this is my little mini rant. Either you're for the trash talk both ways, or you're not for it at all. I hate the shit where it's like WWE can do it, but AEW can't, and AEW can do it, and WWE can't. Like this thing right here, right? Where was it earlier? Hunter brought up the whole Triple H taking a shot at Ospreay. I'm fine with that. You know why? Because I'm fine on Wednesday if Ospreay takes a shot back. Do I agree with Triple H? No, I don't agree with like, oh, you want to live at home with your family and make millions? What a terrible person. You're a lazy worker. I don't think that at all. You have Roman who fucking works like 5 days a year and he's getting the same, like, where's his grind, right? But I don't care because it's fun in pro wrestling. Like, let them
Do you see the CM Punk like ESPN thing?
No.
Where it was like the WrestleMania post show. And they were like, he was there with the Miz, and he told them like, "Are you gonna get the tendons tattooed on you?"
I did, right? And that's the thing where it's like, this is what bugs the shit out of me. Where the Bucks
for that one though, I feel like Will Ospreay, like he even laughed off the thing of it being.
He did when he saw the
fake
turnstile. He's like,
number,
"Oh my god, bruv, you kidding me?" But like, here's the thing: like, Bucks on Wednesday can be like, "Oh, scapegoat, love your work," and it was like, "Oh, they're obsessed. They can't get CM Punk out of mind." They're blah blah, and then CM Punk will make a fun shot, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's the best, man." CM Punk shooting from the hip, like that's where just get in the camp of. Just be fun. Let them both do it. Like, this has not been a thing in so long. Who cares? Like, people are like, oh my god, they're ruining the legacies. No, they won't. In 2 weeks, people aren't going to talk about. Like, this is fun. I guess
I
it's
saw
like,
a tweet though saying like I feel good for the people who just started watching wrestling now because it's been so boring for the last 5 years.
That's what I mean. I suppose when I try to explain to you why I stopped watching WWE, like, it was so fucking bad, man. Like, it was that 2016 to 2019 or 2020 era, like. There's so much bad stuff. That's what I mean. Like, I guess because I grew up in the Attitude Era where both of them, and same thing with Dave, like both shows were always taking shots at each other all the time. There was always little digs, and it's not this like, oh man, they can't stop. Like, that's what you do. And I do think it was designed for CM Punk to be there on Monday because he shit on AEW, and then WWE's about to have their biggest weekend of all time. This felt like a 1-2 punch of like, we're just gonna fucking hit Tony Khan. And guess what? And this is where like, did the Edge promo need to happen? Maybe not. Like, I think there's some good stuff. I think there's some bad stuff. I think him cutting the promo in the week of the releases, not the greatest. I agree with people. But at the same time, when people are like, oh, why are they doing this? Because AEW's main fanboy base and how they grew up was on the internet. That's how they became a thing. The Elite, Cody, Bucks, Kenny, they used that show to become a thing. So the past 2 days since the CM Punk interview, they have been the fucking whipping boy of the internet. Memes all around being made fun of. So it's just like, why wouldn't they come out and try and do something? And now they're doing like the ultimate. And I agree with somebody where it said either this is going to make CM Punk look a little bad because it's going to show he's lying about a few things, or AEW is the dumbest company of all time. And I agree with that sentiment because there's no reason to release. I'm all for releasing this. Fuck yeah. They're making a segment of it. This is great. This is even better than the league because this is going to make like, this makes AEW, oh, they're just trying to pop a rating. Yeah, it's a fucking business. Like, of course they're trying to pop a rating. Like, what do you think? Like, but that's where it's like, whatever happens, I do agree that they have to show something, even if it's Jack Perry winning the fight, and it's just like, man, CM Punk looks like a bitch. That's that they get their job right.
I would say like if the reveal is that CM Punk is not good at real fights, then I don't think that's a shock.
Well, yeah, it's not a shock, right? We know that CM Punk get big, but at least even then it could be like that can feed into the heel Jack Perry, right? Of like Jack Perry got rid of CM Punk, he kicked his ass, CM Punk's scared of him. That can be a great heel thing. But if it is literally just footage of them having a scuffle, it's like, and nothing happens, like, okay, well, what did you do? But I'm all for it because, like, why not? Like, they've been the whipping boy, and Triple H, CM Punk, Pat McAfee. they're taking their shots at AEW. This and Tony Khan, I agree with people at the interview, he was probably pissed. This is their time to be like, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to do something. And to me, it's fine because, like, I don't think WWE's going to fire CM Punk, like, unless he's in this tape dropping a bunch of, like, sexist, racist things. I think he's fine. And AEW gets a little buzz. And that's why, like, just have fun with it. And if you feel like you're so much on the WWE side or AEW side, just focus on their wrestling company then. Because just, like, both of them can do it. Both of them can have shots. And then let's see what happens after. So, David, you're like me. You've been here the whole time at AEW. What do you think about the interview with CM Punk? Obviously, the Edge promo, and now Wednesday we're going to be seeing some Brawl In footage as a full segment from the EVPs.
I was not surprised at all with CM Punk going full CM Punk in that interview. I knew, and I think WWE had to know that putting him out there was that strong chance that, hey, this is where it's going to go.
They wanted that too. I
like
bet. They really wanted it.
With most interviews, I bet you there was a, hey, what's off limits? What's not? What can we talk about? What do you absolutely do not want to talk about type deal? And, you know, CM Punk was probably just like, hey, everything's on the table. So I'm not surprised.
Except for Brawl Out. That was the one that he didn't talk about, right? That's the one thing. Yeah.
He's like, I'm still not sure the legality of what all I can say. He goes, for the most part, I think I can say whatever, but I just don't want to anymore. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, I'm not surprised with any of it. When it comes to Edge's comeback rah promo, I'm like, all right, I see what you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to do that. I may have chosen someone other than Edge to do it. Maybe someone closer who was an original to come in and do it. I get the thought process of having a WWE Hall of Famer come out and do it. And
yes,
you know, but other than that, it is what it is. I don't take too much stock into, and I think Resident Justice just put in the chat about Dax. I don't put too much stock into Dax's promo because he even said, hey, my promo is the same promo I do on the go home of every show.
Which is true.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to feed my family and things like that. He's like, so he straight up said, yeah, no, mine is not a rah shot at anyone. This is the same promo I've been doing in the time that I in the show.
And I'm gonna butt in too. RJ, I love you. I follow you on Twitter, but at the same time, you are definitely one of those people that I'm not lying. I had to mute you for a day because there were 6 tweets in a row on my timeline that was just all AEW, like just purely sided, and it wasn't just fact of like, man, this is clogging up my timeline. Like, there's a point where it's like, if you take the high road, that's true, but like, so what is your point then, RJ? And you can answer in the chat. For Punk taking shots this weekend, Triple H taking shots this weekend, McAfee and others, like, that's why it's like, if WWE was not saying anything, then it's like, yeah, AEW is just like, they're the little kid in the room, like, let's fight. But they're both doing it. So that's where it's just like,
McAfee took a lot of.
She took a shot at Rhea Ripley's fiance right in front of her, like pretty much like saying like, oh, wrestle in front of 600 people, like just saying like Buddy Murphy is, or whatever his name is, I don't remember, it's Murphy or Matthews now, like he's wrestling in this like rinky dinky little place where like in August he's gonna wrestle in front of 50,000. They are clearly the number 2 promotion. They are nowhere in arm's reach of WWE, but it's at the same point, it's like, if they're gonna, like on Monday, if they're gonna shoot, they're gonna shoot, right? And that's the thing where it's just like, same thing, RJ. Like, why? Like, you've been so negative on AEW this past weekend. I think for you just gotta stop watching the product and, like I did WWE, and just move past it, because it's just like they're gonna keep doing it. That's what they're gonna do, and I don't know. It could work out. If it's embarrassing, we'll talk about that on Wednesday. If like after we see it, I don't know. It's because it could just be a fun. It could just be the Bucks like using this to prop up Jack Perry, right? So
yeah, I this footage better be some damning footage, because if not, like I said on Twitter, that I would not be surprised if TK, fearing for his life, is just Punk turns around and points at him and goes, you stay out of this, and him like, oh, like I would not be surprised if that's a thing. Like,
Meltzer says that footage is not going to be in there. He says that there's nothing with Tony Khan in there, which that to me is not good, because that's where I will go with AEW. Is like, you show it all, you don't show any of it to me.
Yeah,
because then it looks
if you're
like it's
using this to big up Jack Perry, then just bring Jack Perry back and let him say talk trash. Just let him talk trash. Let him say continue his whole scapegoat thing. He was the scapegoat, but people don't want to talk about him and things like that because they know there's nothing to talk about because he would kick CM Punk's ass any day of the week and all this other stuff. Just do that. If you're going to do it, go balls out or don't go at all, because you're going to end up looking like some old 1990s, early 2000s. And I don't know if you remember this, the GTV skits that WWF at the time used to have that were supposed to be gold dust, their little found footage type deal. You're going to end up like that, or the QT Marshall TV crap that he had where they were ripping off TMZ. Like it's going to end up cheesy like that. So either do it all, go balls out, or don't do it at all. I get the shooting for the ratings. You're coming off of WrestleMania. This is a perfect time to bring in the wrestling audience, especially with all this stuff that CM Punk and other people have been saying. Those who don't know about AEW, your name has been in people's mouths, so this is a perfect time to get somebody in. But I think this is kind of not the way to do it unless you are going to just go all out and be like, hey, this is why this guy got fired. This is why Seth used to call him a cancer. This is why this is happening. Like, really lean into it.
And that's why, to the point too, where like CM Punk, I thought the interview was great and everything, but there's multiple things I disagree in that interview, because I will still always go and he goes, oh, like I didn't punch him, I just choked him a little. That's still not good. That's not like we're like, he like, it's supposed to be with people, oh, CM Punk's changes and that. Like, he's a 40-year-old man near on 50. Like, the fact that his reaction is, well, if I don't punch him, choking him is better. It's like, no, man, like we're in it's not the fucking like 60s, 70s where it's like, go handle it outside. It's like, no, man, like that's not the way. And that stuff is, and that's fine if he feels that way. And I will read RJ's comment to defend himself here. He says, I think there's levels to it. I don't think some things that we have said shouldn't have been said for sure. I don't disagree with that. I think the shots at Ospreay are overblown. And I agree with you. I think there's stuff that has been overblown. To me, that's fun. And it's stuff that where I go, like I said, I disagree. That's just Triple H. Like, there's so many things you can pick apart that it's wrong, but like Triple H does that all the time. But I guarantee you next go around he'll probably sign that. Same thing with MJF. The crowd starts to chant MJF and he's like, well, people that are big other places might not be big here. That to me is just Triple H. Like, I don't take that at him taking shots. I take that as almost like reverse psychology, where he's like poking the bear of like, MJ, like, yeah, come prove you could do it here. Like, you don't think, and I've said this before, come 2027, MJF's gone. If it even sooner, he will be a WWE guy, especially with Cody. I think it's going to happen, but I'm kind of for them all. And like the footage, it's like, I agree that this is like the biggest step of this could get embarrassing, right? But at the end of the day, I don't know, I guess it's pro wrestling. And it's like, I guess again we'll have to see what's happening, because it could just be a major egg on his face. But at the same time, this is a guy where, he just got shit on for like 45 minutes and stuff. So I can see, and here's the thing too, like I'm not trying to do whataboutisms, but WWE did the same thing. They fired Punk on his fucking wedding day. They sued him. It wasn't in public, so this is a little bit different, sure. But all the stuff that Tony Khan's doing right now is the same thing Vince and Triple H did 10 years ago. Fucking Triple H FedEx him, filing for his firing on his wedding day. They made sure Punk talked to him the night before, and then he got an express FedEx like, you're no longer like. They have all done this. It's pro wrestling. It's petty. It's just that they're out in the public. And my last point before I ask Sbubbs is, this is like what the elite was known for. Is like being the elite was known as, oh, they're pushing the boundary, they're saying stuff they shouldn't. Did it always work? No, but like, this is their fucking gimmick. The same way,
a lot of buttons with WWE and Triple H, and they knew it. The cease and desist, and then making shirts about the cease and desist. They made a shirt that had the entire cease and desist on it,
and that created that's why when people, oh, they said scapegoat and they're doing Cry Me a River on TV, it's like they've done this with everybody. It's not just Punk, and it's because I think because WWE's really hot right now, people are really like, fucking, I'm the Fed guy. Like, I love WWE, but it's like, you don't do revision history. Bucks and everybody have done this for years. And 2 years ago, when AEW was hot, everybody's like, oh, this is the best. They're so cool. But now it's like, because it's a guy they like or a company that's really hot right now, it's like, oh, they can't do this now. It's like they've always done this. People use clips of Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash doing the same thing back in the day. Like it's pro wrestling. So Sbubbs, now, like I said, you're the kid. You're in this marriage, but the ex is back. They're causing a stir. You're a year under in your wrestling fandom. What do you take from all this? And to your point, Sbubbs, I also laughed that imagine the person that watched AEW that's not online that has no idea about like, what do you mean the footage of all
for that
that?
Edge segment, like the crowd was like silent. They were like,
yeah,
it was like, what is he talking about?
There's been a lot of BS, right? And it was like,
Yeah.
and that's why for me, I didn't know because I did think it was really bad for AEW. I thought that was like it hurt them a lot, but again, that's where it's like perception reality. Where when he did mention it, there was a big pop. So like maybe it's not a big deal. I don't know, but AEW's fan base is very online based, right? So I don't know. And to David's point too, I still think there's a chance that wasn't a them move. I think there's a chance that Edge went out there and said, hey, everyone's feeling really down. Let me get out there and try and fire everyone up. Because there's even clips this week before where he's already taken shots at Punk in WWE. I also think he just doesn't like CM Punk. I think he generally does not get along with the guy. So like any chance. But if Edge wanted to do a Raw, sure. The timing maybe not the best, but Sbubbs, how are you feeling about all this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Like, there's so much to say about it, but I'm just interested to see like what the footage is, because I feel like people are saying like even if the footage is like Punk being like a lunatic just attacking people like backstage, like to like the people who like Punk, that's gonna be like, this is awesome what he did to the Elite, like we love CM Punk. So
and that's where I was surprised, and that doesn't help with the Tony Khan things. Like, okay, what does it show that he's lying? I guess if he like, I don't know, and that's where for me,
it's like there's not much like what could he lie? Because he already said like he went up to Jack Perry first, and he's the one who started it and choked him.
Yeah.
So it's like what could be the thing he's lying about, that like Jack Perry like attacked him first, or that like.
Or Punk attacked him,
like,
right? That's the only thing he could be lying about. If there's something where, because his retelling the story is Jack Perry's like said, do something about it. So if it was something like Punk just came up to him and started fucking swinging, like it shows, because that's the one thing that I will give them credit. If they show one thing that Punk is lying, then everyone will look at that interview and be like, oh, he could be lying about this. He could be lying about this. If there's one thing where that could be the thing, if Punk started the fight, people say, oh, well, how can you trust Punk? He lied about the fight. He said that Jack Perry started it, and he just came up, like he said, God damn and everybody. He just started to go to fists. And that's where, like RJ points up, and I think that's the only thing that could be used for is next, I think in 2 weeks from now, Jack Perry with New Japan is in Chicago. They could, if they're smart, use this to make them uber heel. Like I said, to me, if the footage is just Jack Perry actually beating CM Punk and they just say he beat him and he got him out of here and they use that as heel thing, that to me actually works. If it's not even to expose CM Punk, it's just to like help Jack Perry, you could do that, because let's call it what it is. The devil thing fucking flopped. The devil thing, they just got to do Adam Cole versus MJF and then move on. So this could be their next, like they need to get Jack Perry back. And instead of Tony Khan being mad at him, like use the kid. Like he's not going to WWE. Yeah. He's in New Japan. Like I think it's like a Hail Mary pass. They could score a touchdown and be really cool, or it could just be, this was silly.
They're going to shoot Jack Perry up to the top of the card by using everything that's going on with him being in CM Punk's mouth, and people now
Perry
wondering about Jack
Samoa
Perry.
Joe, because Samoa Joe split up the fight. He's
I
like, I would have kept hitting.
I
would have killed CM Punk if Samoa Joe had it.
Now, I will say one point before we move on about the Will Ospreay shot. I agree with Triple H to an extent.
Wow, you're the Ospreay guy. You're Billy the Goat. What's going on?
I know. I don't agree with it with Will Ospreay, but I agree with it with others.
Okay.
So Will Ospreay is long traveled. Will Ospreay has earned the right to pull a Brock Lesnar, to pull a John Cena, to choose the fact that he wants to spend more time with his family.
Honestly, when I was hearing that interview, like my first thought wasn't like, oh, he's talking about Ospreay. I was like, this feels like AEW in general.
But everyone jumped to everyone. Like, some of the talk about Okada or Sasha. It was all, he's mad he didn't get Ospreay. He's fucking pissed he didn't get Ospreay.
But some of the newer people who have said, who are coming in off of the indies or coming in off a bus from somewhere else, and they're like, I don't want to travel the road. That much I do get. Hey, you're not built for the grind. That's not you. it's probably a good thing that we didn't sign this young up and comer because you're not built for the grind yet. I think that Ospreay has shown that he is built for the grind. So I think in my mind, Ospreay gets the pass. And yes, Ospreay is right now my current favorite wrestler in the world, and it has been for a while. I go back and forth between him and Omega, but both of them are just great. I loved him when he was a junior heavyweight, and then his jump up, just like Omega. I mean, very similar stories.
Very similar. They have like almost the exact story. Pretty much.
That they're just amazing. So I think that Ospreay has earned the right to say, you know what? I've got a wife. I've got a step kid now. I've got responsibilities. I don't want to be on the road in America for 300 days out of the year.
And
I
want
what
to
it
be
is.
able
to
he's
take
making
a month
more
off.
money. More money than they might be. And I'm not saying that's bad on WWE. They have a system. It works. If they say, hey, we won't pay at this rate, like that's for me why I hope the footage is good on Wednesday and AEW can not make a comeback. They're fine, but that's why to me I want AEW to be around, just because the wrestlers have choices then. You know, it's not just you're stuck with the Fed and you get paid with the Fed and you travel with the Fed. I don't give a shit. If Okada wants to live in Japan and be there once a week, good for him. Like, I'm happy for him. Like, and then there's another company, you know, same thing with WWE. It's like when people leave or vice versa, because now WWE benefits off it too. Because if WWE, let's say 5 years ago, were to sign MJF, he's just another guy at the PC. Now, in 3 years, when they get MJF, it's a fucking, or look at Cody. Look at Cody. If AEW was not around, this whole big comeback, this story that we're having right now might not be there. Now, MJF, you could make him number 30 in the Rumble and you get a massive pop. And it's like, oh, look, they stole a guy. They got a built-in superstar, right? So WWE benefits off another company too, because they don't have room for everybody. And while they make people, like now, you know, Mercedes can go get paid and eventually she'll be back. She's even said,
I've got
unfinished debuted. Yeah.
Right. So it's like that works too. Cause now it's like the absent grows fonder. WWE has no lack of female stars. They're fucking set. So now in a couple years when Sasha comes back, oh, look at that. We're fired up. Now, sometimes it's like, oh, Sean Spears comes back and he's just Sean Spears working the pre-show. But like, I think it to me, it still benefits both. Cause like, AEW being around,
Sean Spears is like that trainer at the
absolutely
the
he's gonna be a coach, for sure, But like AEW being around did not hurt WrestleMania weekend here, and I think majority of AEW's problems don't have to do with WWE doing great. I do think there is a section of people that watched AEW because WWE is shit, and now that WWE's hot, they for sure have left again, right? But that also means that AEW was not being good enough for people to stick around. Because I'm somebody, I watch both. If Cody wins tomorrow, I'm back to being a full-time WWE fan. If Cody loses, you'll never see me again. I'll retire. I think it's tonight, but that's where it's like you still
3 million viewers on Dynamite on Wednesday.
They
break Raw's
everything,
record.
Everything. Everyone's like, oh, but that's where it is. It's good just to have a choice, right? Because I even see people that are on my timeline, big AEW fans. They watch WrestleMania and they go, oh, I'll watch this, but this product's still just not for me because like it's too glamoury, it's too whatever. Same thing with AEW. People watch, you know, maybe the stories aren't good enough. There's too much, you know, the blood they use too much. Like that's where the options are great. So I hope this footage and everything goes well. Either way is good. You can't say it's boring. That's one thing. Like it's given us something to talk about, and we'll see what happens. Anything else on Punk or Edge or whatever, and we'll see what happens then. So let's see. Finally, we'll end off with NXT. Sbubbs, I'm gonna leave with you because I consider you Mr. NXT. You're like
I missed one of the matches sadly because I had to do something, but the rest I did watch.
Which one did you miss?
I missed the Ilya Dragunov one, which I hear is really good, and it was like 30 minutes long or something. But that was definitely one I need to check out.
Yeah,
but I wasn't really fully on like the whole like family thing.
Me
like
either.
I don't know, like I liked what they were doing like on the weekly show because they had a lot of like pre-recorded. They just played like movies during NXT. It felt like there'd be like a 10-minute segment of like the family kidnapping Ilya Dragunov and like taking him to a bridge, and he's like
very hokey type of stuff. Yeah,
but I did watch I think the rest of it.
I'll mention
But
because we'll talk about that match first, just because what was I gonna say? Because I'm the same thing of like this felt like they knew Trick and Mello were main eventing, so Dragunov can go against anybody. From what I've seen, NXT I've watched sporadically, but I'm starting to get my toes back in it now that they're like taking it more seriously. I'm the same thing. I'm not a big fan of like the family is like a main thing. I don't know about Tony D, but I think they worked hard and the match was good. But yeah, any thoughts, David, on that one before we go the whole show back there?
It was serviceable.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
they definitely mega push the family just because like they need to get them like close to the level of Dragunov. Because before they'd have their segments like they're eating pasta at a restaurant or whatever, or like they'd have one match, but then it was like every week you're getting the family now because they're gonna have to go against Ilya.
It felt like an open challenge. Like he just said, "Oh, anybody," and then he came out, but they had to build it up, you know.
Yeah,
so.
I watched sporadically, and I mostly like just catch recaps and things like that. So, like when I was watching NXT full time, the family was not where they are now. So just to see them on this level, it was a bit like okay.
The thing they've done good recently is like there's like a Luca Crucifino who's like his gimmick's like he's a lawyer. So now they put him in the family, like they have like this like corrupt lawyer in the family now. And he like hides stuff in the ring and stuff.
I think another reason I just can't get invested, I could be wrong. I just think this is a gimmick that just they get to the main roster and they're around for a bit and they all get repackaged, retooled, and it's like gone. I just don't see this.
This is 2000 SmackDown all over again.
Yeah, it just feels
NXT
very NXT.
gimmicks are very like they're just like so like to the extreme.
Like didn't we already have Deuce and Domino? We're bringing this back.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about them. Yeah, but yeah. Other than that match, Sbubbs, what do you think of the overall show?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like good matches of each type, pretty much. I thought they were all a lot of fun. The North American triple threat was awesome. Just like hard hitting stuff all the time.
Meat planets.
Good one to be sponsored by Knuckles. That one was a correct sponsorship.
That's true. That's actually that's pretty fitting. I feel like Knuckles would fit right.
It was better than the Fallout one. Though I did like the clip with someone put like a tornado DDT right onto the Vault Boy on the floor. But what other one? The tag match was really great. The Braun and Baron Corbin, Nathan Frazier, Axiom. I thought they're really cool. Really fast, like everyone. And then Corbin's just like the huge guy who can just like he just hits 2 end of days and then it's over.
Yeah, he did a splash. He did one splash too, so he busted out some new moves for WrestleMania weekend. You know.
What else? Yeah, Trick and Mello. Like I definitely thought it was gonna go longer.
So yeah, that ending came out of nowhere. Just I was like, oh, someone told them, hey, we got some other things we have to do. I did see on Twitter about 30 minutes later they were having rehearsals for WrestleMania. So I'm like, did they have to wrap it up because Triple H had to get down to rehearsals or something?
I still think I said in the Discord, I think that ending means to me that Mello's not going to the main roster yet, and they're going to have a few more matches, and they're going to pull a Gargano Ciampa where they just spread this out for a long time. Like, that's just what it felt to me, because it did feel abrupt, and it was weird. Like, I thought the match was really good. Both of them are just mega stars. Like, it is like, I know it's a meme, but legitimately it could be like, yes, they could hopefully in 5 years from now, they could be a main event of WrestleMania, right? They can be like the new Seth and Roman where they're bonded for life. Trick is just a star. Like, same thing as Jey Uso. You got that entrance of 13,000 saying whoop that Trick, and it's just like, fuck, man, I can't wait till we get that like at a 50,000 plus stadium. Like both of them are just their money, right? It's just like they're looking so good. Trick, I think, did look like a top guy. I think the match was good, but I think there's just a lot of unnecessary stuff. I wish this was just the straight wrestling match this go around, and then you do the no DQ, or you do like the ref bumps. Like, I thought they had a good stuff, and kind of like the other actually, I guess I would disagree because the crowd was into every ref bump. They were into it all, so it wasn't like the Rock, tag match where I felt like the crowd kind of simmered on it. Probably because this one was shorter, so I thought it was good. I just didn't think that stuff was needed for this go around, because even then it's like, oh, they're making this big deal about Trick beating him, but like Carmelo was kind of distracted talking to the ref, so it made Trick win. Like, oh, he kind of still eked it out a little. So that's why I think
Yeah.
they're going to do a bunch more matches, which is
And I
fine.
thought,
so.
especially after like the Vengeance Day, like Ilya Dragunov Trick, which is like a really great match, and that was just
Oh, yeah.
like a like wrestling banger. Like I don't know
Yeah.
how long that one is, but like tons of near falls, and like you think he's gonna win. And that one I think and like Trick lost because of Mello or
Yeah,
I
he
don't
kind of
remember.
distracted him or
Yeah,
something, right? Didn't he like?
yeah, no, it
yeah,
was like
something.
he like pushed him or something like onto the leg, and then he hits him with the steel
Yes,
chair
yeah. He
later.
like bumped
Yeah.
into him, but it was like a
Yeah,
on
but
purpose
that
bump.
one's
Yeah.
like a great match. So I was expecting something like more like that, where it's just like I don't remember how long that one went. It felt like maybe it was a quick match that was just like with great spots and stuff. But yeah, it definitely ended in like a weird way. And people are saying like yeah, like Mello kicked out of like 3 H bombs from the top rope
Yeah.
from Ilya Dragunov, and they takes one
One
knee
knee.
and he's done.
And a sloppy knee at that. I mean, it wasn't
He's
even a full
distracted,
connect. Yeah, it was.
My dad, when he used to watch wrestling, he'd hate that shit of the distraction finish. And I was always reversed where like I can like headcanon like the H bomb. He was somewhat prepared because you're distracted, you're not prepared. And if you get hit while you're not prepared, it's over for you. That's the only way I can headcanon like, okay, this is why I didn't kick out, that he wasn't prepared, I guess. But yeah, it was if and this didn't that's the strange way too. This match felt more like a mid card, like in the middle of the match sort of flow, but this was supposed to be the main event, so that's why I thought it would be a bit more bigger and epic. But that's again, I think they were like saving stuff too. I think you're gonna get some match in the future that's like their 30-minute clinic or whatever it is, which is odd because I thought they still could have done it here, but I don't know. I guess like you said, it could have been time and everything like that. So
Only one title change on the whole show.
yep. I was surprised. You like I suppose mentioned War Dogs. I was surprised. Like I don't know why Braun's holding that title. I don't know what they're waiting for. Like maybe he's gonna do both. So then I'll take it back.
Just Shawn Michaels doesn't want to let him go. He just wants to keep him on
Well,
on his show for as long as he
yeah.
can.
You can't take my champions.
Yeah, like this would be the same thing that happened with Vince and Triple H, but sometimes Vince is just like, I'm taking them, and like that's it. Like it's different because like they're friends, but like Braun to me is like I'm taking him. Like it's like he just feels like, and I'm somebody that's just like a casual watcher of NXT. I think I'll get more into in the future here, but it just feels like he's just like uber floundering now. Like he's still putting in good work, of course, but it's just like if he does both, then I'll take back the criticism. But if it's going to be more NXT centric, it's like he's got to get on the main roster. He's got to start doing some stuff. Maybe they're going to wait for the draft, and maybe he'll lose it right before the draft, and someone will like, I'm drafting. Wait, did he got signed to SmackDown though, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, he's already signed.
So he's already. It's not one of those things where like, oh, I'm drafting a NXT rookie. He's already a contracted SmackDown superstar. So I don't know. It felt odd to me. It felt very strange. I also don't know if it's just like, what do we do with Baron Corbin once he's gone? And I don't know. Again,
I feel like you have to put the like, because I do get the idea of like, obviously you want Braun as like a single star, but like the Wolf Dogs is like working really well. Like I want to see that on the main roster because I feel like people like Corbin now. Like you're getting "Let's Go Corbin" chants in the match and stuff.
Yeah. And I'd be fine with that. Even if it's the main roster, like I said, that would be a perfect, they beat Awesome Truth. And maybe that's the plan. Like you said, there could be some combination. I'd be fine with that. And then you split them up eventually. So again, I'll wait and see because it's Triple H and the crew right now. So I think Raw and SmackDown will actually be big shows. Not like last year. It was like one of the worst Raws ever after Mania. It was just like
King
brutal.
Braun. King of the Ring.
Corbin can train him. Like I used to be king. I'll show you all the ways. And then other match I loved is because I've not seen her too much. Not Roseanne. I've seen Roseanne Perez and Roxanne Perez. And then what is her name again?
Lyra Valkyria.
I feel like I screw it up and I always say Valkyrie Lyra first. But so I haven't seen her wrestle too much, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that match was really good. Perez, I think it's good for her to be NXT champion. I don't think it's where she's floundering yet because she's doing this heel thing, but she's also just like, she's ready to go up. This character she has
She's
right
been in
now,
2 Rumbles already.
Yeah, that's I didn't know. I thought you were gonna say NXT titles, but yeah, she has those and the Rumbles. But she's great. This stuff she's doing, but yeah, really good match. And yeah, I'm excited to see them both kind of in the future. But I guess Perez is gonna have a little heel run down in NXT. So
yeah, I like Lyra Valkyria. There was a while where it was like, I don't know, she was like not boring, but like she didn't really have anything going on story-wise besides being like, it wasn't like I can wrestle. It was like I'm the champ and like no one can beat me. there did some stuff definitely did have. There's been like two pivots because like first was like it was pretty clear that Cora Jade was gonna challenge her before
Yeah.
she got injured because they had like a number one contenders match like the day after she got injured. She was supposed to be in that.
Yeah.
And then also like Shotzi was probably gonna take the title
Right.
off of her if she
Oh
got injured. And
God.
then they were probably gonna have Shotzi at stand and deliver and then like drop
Really?
it back to her or something like that. But yeah, so there's been a lot of like injury stuff going on.
I'm not in
Because
the
even
Shotzi
like
camp,
I was
so
I was talking to someone on Twitter and they were like Blair Davenport may have been the I forget how they worded that, but it was like transitional number one contender. Because she was like she won the
what was it, Iron
Iron
Survivor?
Survivor,
Yeah.
and then after the match, like Cora Jade just like dropped her she dropped Lara Valkyria with the championship. While Blair just won the number one contender. So it's like, okay, so Blair's not winning because you're gonna have Cora Jade have the match
Yeah.
against Lara Valkyria, like, and that happened on like the first NXT of the year, and it's like, yeah, okay, Lara Valkyria won.
Yeah, it sucks with Jade. I really hope because she was injured, came back, and then got injured right away. I hope, luckily, it's a different era. It sucked in the Vince era. If you got injured like 3 times, very close, you're injury prone, and then the Vince was done with you. Like Dolph Ziggler at one point was uber hot. He got a fucking concussion in his world title reign, and Vince was like, "Oh yeah, we can't really put the belt on him anymore because like it's like he got anyone can get a fucking concussion, man." Like,
Yeah.
so I hope we're not in this era where people they do get the like, oh, like she's getting injured a lot because Jade, she reminds me of young Rhea where it's like she's got it. I'm not saying because like wrestling Twitter just thirsts over her every week because that pops up my timeline all the time. Cora Jade will post something and then it's like the dogs are out, right? But I think she legitimately has like a big it quality where it's like she could be a big time star. So I hope that when she comes back, she can have like a nice, good, healthy long run because like
also
that
the
was
plan supposedly
disappointing.
was supposed to put like Cora Jade and Roxanne together again as heels.
Do the main roster. That I think that'd be a good way to bring them up. We still got the women's tag team titles that are they're not cursed, but you know they still need like a little more chutzpah, like the Braun and Corbin thing. When she's healthy, bring them both up at the same time. Maybe let Cora get a couple reps and make sure she's all clear and everything. But I'd bring them up that way. That'd be a good way. I'm sure Sean though wants to do it, so maybe they'll have to hang back for a couple of years. I don't know, but not for too long because it's tough. Because you want to support NXT. When do they make the move to CW?
I think like it's like sometime this year, like September or something
Okay.
like that.
So they still gotta wait. So I was gonna say you want to hold. I guess not a ways because you still want to have people on there, right?
I
That's
feel like
all.
right now they're like starting to build like all the new people.
Yeah.
Like they had like the hype package for Javon Evans, and he's definitely someone like he was getting chants like to his theme song on his second ever match on NXT Level
Yeah.
Up, and it's
People
like
love him.
his fifth match, and they're moving him to like the main show already.
Yeah, so that's always the tough thing in NXT, right? The take and pull where it's training people for WWE, but you also have to put on a show that people are going to watch and get ratings. Like it's always, I think it wasn't a big struggle when it was on the WWE network because that was their own network. And it's like, well, whatever. If people are watching this, great. But now when it's like a show that people are paying for, like CW's paying for, whatever the deal is, it's like you still got
I
to
think
have.
CW is free TV, like you
Right.
get it through the satellite, so that'd
Okay.
be more viewers.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
local television
Yeah.
here, and they also have everything airing on the CW app. So like you can watch everything next day for free.
Yeah. Anything else on Stand Deliver that I know? We see Julia, right? You saw, which that's somebody I'm not familiar with because I've not watched much of her. I've seen the clips of her just beating the shit out of people.
Yeah,
which
I've
is
seen
like,
highlights. That's it.
yeah, exactly. So it's unfortunately like an independent wrestler or someone on the side that usually have some knowledge of. I've not seen a match yet, but yeah, I think it's fine her starting NXT. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can't just be in the main roster, but like WWE is still a different style, and she's been working a very different style for years.
And
Like
there's some people
Nakamura was
like
there,
I saw like AJ Styles. He said like he wished he had started NXT to get used to like the
Oh
WWE
yeah,
like world. Yeah,
and that makes sense. I'm glad AJ Styles didn't because that was at a time where like I think it fit, but it
yeah.
makes sense. Like Nakamura, Finn Balor, like, they all went there, and it's not like the only reason I think lesser of Nakamura and Finn Balor is not because they went to NXT. It's just because like their booking lately has been very like all right, you know. So it's not. I'm not looking back, man. Finn Balor in NXT, him being there. It's like, and fucking Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like they're all. And I guess those are different examples, right? But still, they were independent stars elsewhere that came over. It makes sense. She's learning English right now. Still, she's gonna train that style. Like I don't know what any controversies I see. People are like, oh man, they shouldn't bring her there. It's like, I don't know. Like it's standard. Even if she's there for a couple months. I think another one that would have been weird would have been if Okada went there, because it's just weird for. It's tough because Nakamura did it too, but it's just it's odd. But I'm fine with it. Whatever they want to train them, they train them.
Chase U exchange student, like
Oh
everyone's saying.
god, I hate
Or cousin
those,
to the
I hate
cousin
those
to the
Photoshop.
cousin to the family because she's half Italian.
Anything else about anything this weekend we've seen so far? Anything about tonight you want to shout out or bring up as we bring this to a close?
I think the LA Knight AJ Styles match could be good or it'd be fun.
Are you disappointed you didn't get a stip? Because you weren't alone. Everyone was wanting for the stip for that.
I was expecting it was. I feel like there's someone's. I don't know. I don't feel like they went with that many stipulations because you're gonna have the big bloodline rules.
Bloodline rules. Do we get that in the next 2K game? The bloodline rules match, and that's what they're just called DQ matches.
I mean, they already have extreme rules, no holds barred. And
And well, it's so funny too. Like before Extreme Rules, the matches be like a hardcore match, and then they rebranded that. So maybe they should. But I didn't think about that. You have Extreme Rules and no holds barred. That's funny because like, what's even the difference in the game?
I think in the game it's like it's just they put like if you have it on default settings, there's different weapons under the ring. Oh, so if you have like if it's Extreme Rules, it's like kendo sticks, tables, trash can. If you have like no holds barred, it's like sledgehammer, shovel, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think in Extreme Rules you can put the ladder, like you can bridge the ladder, and no holds barred you can't. I don't know why.
Okay. There you go.
That's apparently the difference.
I think maybe didn't get a stip too because maybe they might do this match a couple times. I could see it at Backlash with a stip and everything. But yeah, fun little segment of his nose getting busted. But yeah, I think all the matches have other than the street fight, which will just be fun. I think there's some potential there. So yeah, David, anything?
No, I'm just excited about tonight. I'm excited to watch Cody finish the story and see where we go from here.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, if Cody didn't finish the story, geez.
Do you mean cashing in on Cody?
Oh God, it was gonna be a long podcast tonight if that happens. But we'll end it there. We'll be back later tonight to bring that down. Tonight's show will be quicker because it'll be later. That'll be just purely about the show, unless Tony Khan invades the arena and does something. But we'll be back, and our night 2 review will happen. Can't wait. It's only 5 hours away now. We're close. So
yep.
Everybody, if you're listening to this before the fact, thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for watching. Enjoy night 2, and it won't be boring. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.